Welcome, everyone, once again to February, Black History Month. So, here at Squirm, we strive to tackle the best of the best, or even the worst of the worst, essentially. It is a fair warning that maybe not all the movies we cover for Black History Month will necessarily all be good ones, but they will be ones that at least pertain to black figures, black characters, or black people in the workforce and whatnot, essentially. And this month, once again, we are paying homage to Chadwick Boseman. This one is not so much a biographical drama. This is something that Chadwick Boseman himself produced, actually, alongside the Russo brothers.
This also
But
is
no,
apparently the last theatrical movie he appeared in before he's passing away. The only other two posthumous movies he was in, called The Five Bloods and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, were direct to Netflix instead.
so yes, the last movie Chadwick Boseman released before his death, and people are somewhat mixed on this. Nevertheless, I do think that, anything showcasing Chadwick Boseman is just a good representation of the work that the man strived to do. I do also think partly that he may have produced this also to show that he had range despite being in the MCU. That's not to say he hadn't shown that off before, but I do get how a lot of people involved with the MCU sometimes felt like they were at risk of being typecast or being stuck with only the MCU, but we all know Chadwick wouldn't play it that way. So, once again, to showcase how different he is from a noble king, this time he will be playing something of a rugged NYPD detective, essentially, who has to shut down all 21 of the New York City bridges to capture two criminals of highly elusive value. And he will indeed be joined by Keith David, Taylor Kitsch, yes, that Taylor Kitsch from X-Men Origins Wolverine and Battleship, along with John Carter, but backed up by J.K. Simmons. So, can King T'Challa and J. Jonah Jameson solve this crime? Let's find out.
Start before the STX Films logo.
If you have any other
Alright.
logos beforehand, just keep those and start before the prism glows.
Yeah, Styx Films.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, click. I remember when I first saw this film, it was definitely when me and my family were kind of on a marathon to try and hunt down all the Chadwick Boseman films after his unfortunate passing. And I'll admit, I was not quite sure what to expect. If I recall correctly, aside from Gods of Egypt, I think this was the first film I saw Chadwick Boseman in, aside from his role as T'Challa, of course, essentially.
I
H
am. I
Brothers.
only have
The
heard of this movie, but I never actually got to see it myself. Mostly because, well,
H
I guess the premise might be interesting, but this kind of police kind of action stuff. It's something that I can see on TV almost every day. Oh my god, the movie literally starts with a quote mentioning the word Avenger. That
Yes.
I know it's probably just a coincidence, but it feels genuine pattern recognition.
Well, I mean, the
He
guy's not on screen when he says it, so maybe it was added in ADR.
So it opens up with the funeral of our main character's father, essentially. A police officer who died on the line of duty. Okay, it's so nice that the religious symbolism is ever so subtle here.
Almost, it's almost like I'm watching a Daredevil adaptation again. Man, these guys must have had a lot of decorations for having this much respect from the rest of the force.
Mhm.
What city
d-
is this in? New York.
Yeah, New York City.
Okay, I was gonna say, have you ever seen any of these kind of funerals, Jova?
Uh, I've seen some reportings of them. Like, yes, sometimes funerals like these can be very big, especially if his dad was high up on the force. There is a lot of camaraderie between police officers, usually, essentially, like to the point where if someone kills a cop, basically expect to have like the whole wrath of the whole force come down on you. And here's Andre grown up.
Yeah, that wasn't an answer.
Do you regret anything? I went to see a psychologist. That's not a yes or no answer.
Also, don't worry, Hellraiser Inferno told me that, it's pointless because it's just James Remar, and in reality he's Peanut in disguise, apparently.
That guy on the left looks like Clark Gregg.
I don't
Yeah,
think
the guy
that's
the
him.
guy played Agent Coulson.
He looks
He
a
is
bit
not
older for
mentioned in the
that.
cast listing.
We have Agent Coulson at home.
Look, we have the Russo brothers and Chadwick. We can't bring everyone from the MCU, although we did get in J.K. Simmons.
So Chadwick Boseman's character's a detective in this.
Mm-hmm. Like all good men, he still adores and takes care of his mom.
But Joba, the movie still told me that he will actually have to do the souffle for her.
Have we done Generations of Steel?
No.
No, we have not yet. Oh god, I guess that technically would count for Black History Month, God help me.
I'm so sorry.
Steel, Catwoman, Blank Man, they are all
It's a good job you
technically
had-
part.
It's a good job we had Blade.
Yes.
Don't forget
Yes.
Spawn.
And I'll say this, I think Meteor Man actually is good.
Okay, I swear that generic cop audio that's been used in like almost every cop film ever.
Yeah, the only thing that is missing is the Roland Emmerich, font that appears on screen to tell this is New York. By the way.
Well,
you can't tell by the buildings.
Yeah, like New York City is kind of just one of those instantly recognizable locations, which, you get it. It's got a ton of iconic places, the Golden Gate Bridge, the Empire State Building, Statue of Liberty, Staten Island, Brooklyn.
Yeah. Help! For all its problems, Ballistic didn't even spell out that the city they were in was in Vancouver.
I guess to be fair, Vancouver isn't as super duper recognizable.
My point there, Jim, was that they didn't plaster the city name that's on the screen.
Let me see. Budget $33 million, recouping 49.9, so not really a success. But I guess it's considered an indie developed movie because the studios are not particularly famous. Let me check
Yeah,
what
again.
was in competition. It was released on November 22, 2019. Oh god, just a month away from Cats, potentially.
Jesus Christ. Although it was also released alongside a movie you may have heard of called Frozen 2.
Oh, okay, so everyone went to see that instead, I guess. But let me check again the rest of the competition.
So these two are played by Taylor Kitsch and Stephen James. Interesting thing of note, Stephen James is quite famous for playing Jesse Owens in the 2016 film Race, so we might be seeing him another one of these sessions, potentially.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it was outside of Frozen 2. It was released close to Ford v Ferrari or Le Mans 66. It's called different countries. The Good Liar, the reports, the Charlie's Angels reboot, probably the Elizabeth
Ugh.
Banks version of that. Dark Waters. Okay, no, Knives Out was direct to Netflix, so I don't think that counts really. Oh,
Wait. Well, technically Knives Out got a limited theatrical
true, but I
release
don't
before.
think it was a
Knives
case.
Out was a Knives Out was a major theatrical release. It
Oh
was the ones
wait, never
after
mind.
that.
Yeah. Never mind. Dwibs is right. Actually, the original Knives Out
Let
did
me
have a
check.
whole theatrical release.
Oh,
It
and
was
it
starting with
did
2.
312 million. So yeah, it's possible that people went to see also that instead of this.
I
And it
will
was
say,
close also to the Playmobil movie, which I know that instead that one nobody saw. So
yes, the Playmobil movie, aka please watch us in hopes that we're like the Lego movie. Please, we're begging you. We'll even give you a musical and everything. Here's a tragic story about these two kids who lost their parents in a car crash, now having to make believe with Playmobil toys. Take us seriously.
thank
I
God
love
they
how
replaced it anyway with wine.
Taylor Kitsch just that guy was just trying to be all macho, tough sounding, but then Taylor Kitsch whacked him. This is about. It'd be funny if he said, you shut your mouth. That was a major Hollywood blockbuster. You're in Battleship. Shut up.
God, had Taylor Kitsch finally at least righted his career at this point, or
Let me see.
was he just holding on for whatever he could
What
get?
was he doing at the time? No, this is actually, in fact, the last movie that he has appeared up until now. He's supposed to star in an upcoming movie called 11 Days. But other than that, after this, he went direct to the television.
Kind of feel a bit sorry for him. Like, I don't think he's the best actor, but I do feel like his real trouble was with his agent, because, man, he had some pretty big roles. They were just in terrible movies.
I could swear when we did the Generation Battleship, I did checked out, and apparently he was actually producing something very personal on his own, but apparently that went nowhere. Oh well.
So there was supposed to be 30 keys here, but looks like that was not the case, and someone may have screwed up with the intel they gave these two crooks. What a shame.
Mosto. Oh, it's Mosto because it's a winery. Okay, that makes.
Is keys a unit of measurement for wine?
No, as far as I know.
Oh wait, I think it's drugs they're after. Right. 30
I
kilograms
swear
of
to God, if we're
cocaine.
gonna waste a single bottle in the shootout, it's like in the Aquaman movie.
Theo, it's just a shout in a winery. I'm sure we won't waste a single drop. But hold on. There are cops here. Which is a bit weird because the guy here hasn't really had time to, well,
Send the
call the
alarm.
police.
Oh yeah, Stephen James, the guy playing one of the robbers.
Hmm?
Yes.
He's going to be in the upcoming I Play Rocky movie as he's starring as Carl Weathers.
I Play Rocky movie? What?
It's a biopic about the making of Rocky.
Ah, okay.
We're at that
From
point.
Peter Farrelly, of all people.
Hey, here we go.
Well, so far no bottles are
No,
damaged.
I noticed at least one. But don't you see, it's symbolic because the blood of the people that dies, it mixes on with the wine on the floor. You know, it's all dirted up and stuff. Well, so much for that.
Yeah, Stephen James's character doesn't really want violence, but Taylor
Oh, yeah,
Kitsch's
but,
character is all about that thug life, yo.
Yeah, I love how one of the guys like, come on, we don't need any more dead cops. But Taylor Kitsch is like, no.
I mean, to an extent,
Look.
I kind of get it because it's a case where you killed one. At this point, more onto that, they're not gonna be nicer to you or anything.
Yeah, you remember how I said at the
Oh.
start of the film that cop killers tend to have it tough? Yeah, again, like I said, you kill cops, prepare to have pretty much the wrath of God come down on you.
Like, cops don't have bulletproof windows.
Okay, well, to be fair, this is New York, so I can believe that.
Okay, I think their police cars tend to have more reinforced windows, but let's be fair, these guys have some pretty high-grade artillery themselves, essentially.
Dare I ask, Jova, who was the mayor around this time, 2019?
Possibly Eric Adams, let me check.
That she told me stories, let's just say that.
Oh, yes. Let's just say we got an upgrade. Oh, nope. The mayor at the time was Bill de Blasio.
Oh, de Blasio, okay. Yeah, still not particularly great one, but,
Better than Eric Adams, sadly. That said, the current mayor, Mamdani, seems to have, like I mentioned, been a massive upgrade. That said, yeah, make of that what you will for how things play out in this movie.
Yeah, this was also 1 year before, the Black Lives Matter movement and the, improved awareness on police brutality. So, this was still cemented in the period of time where, casual propaganda in movies and series was, not viewed that much by your audience.
Wait, you went in the car just to reverse it back a bit and then got in. Was it in the way? I don't think it was in the way.
Dweebs, what if I told you about putting your GTA sessions into scripts?
Yeah, but that's the thing too. I would have at least made sure there wasn't a car in my way when I did it. Put your mask on. If you don't want to be photoed.
It would be hilarious. The Taylor Kitsch character feels so interchangeable that I could swear he could be played by also Machine Gun Kelly at this point.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's the Miramax logo.
Oh god, you're right. But yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that because one thing this film does actually look into is the potential bad effects of police brutality. As we did start this movie also with basically a hearing for Andre Davis's, shall we say, violent streak. He is a guy who means well, but he does tend to use his gun a bit more than he should. Yeah.
I got mayor on my ass, Andre. You need to rein your patch now.
The DA's gonna have my ass.
Again,
Does New York even have a DA?
Yes.
Wow, Q David character, you didn't age a single day.
Yeah, just making sure.
It's a real bloodbath out here.
Deji showed me a clip from Tales from the Hood 2, where Keith David plays, I think, like the devil or a demon equivalent, and it's a riot.
Oh yeah, okay, when it comes to Tales from the Hood, a lot of people say the first Tales of the Hood was just the right balance of comedic but also horror-filled, whereas the second one just careened all over into comedic. And then the third film had to overcorrect by being way too serious.
If this was one of those really cheesy cop shows, Boseman's character would have dropped some really, really, really cheesy pod like in CSI or something.
Yeah.
It's like looks like these guys copped a bad day or something like that.
Or, well, at least they didn't spill the good wine.
And there's J.K. Simmons' character. This was, I think, 2 years after The Snowman for J.K. Simmons, so,
Yeah.
at the very least there was that going on
God,
for him.
I keep forgetting he was in The
That's because,
Snowman.
again,
Jesus.
his character is one of the ones where his subplot goes absolutely nowhere. He just disappears from the movie altogether.
Plus, he had
like,
that really bad British accent.
Yeah.
Like, he was supposed to be a suspect, but then the writers did... Well, okay, as we've established, that movie script was unfinished, but yeah, he's a suspect who just vanishes. Oh, I know who's really behind this. Spider-Man! He's a criminal! A menace!
Oh, could be worse. We could be in Cleveland, and at that point, the only one that you can actually, label off for the superior team is Howard the Duck. Remind me again, what year was Whiplash instead?
Oh, I think that was around the same time as Van Forstick.
Yeah, because it was Miles Teller.
2014, so a year before.
Miles Teller still deciding what to do with his life.
Shoot, I don't even know what Miles Teller's doing these
I'll
days.
check.
Damn.
It was in Top Gun Maverick a few years ago.
Yeah, it was in Top Gun Maverick, also Only the Brave. He is doing movie stuff these days, and he's been also executive producer for a couple of them. And he has 3 upcoming one this year and 2 not released yet. So he's doing fine.
He's in the upcoming Michael Jackson biopic.
Oh, good for him.
He's also, not playing Michael Jackson, thank God.
No. Although, one cool thing, they're actually getting a relative of Michael Jackson to play Michael Jackson in that movie.
He does look a lot like him.
Yep.
Because, sometimes even relatives don't look that much like a member of their family, but...
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, needless to say, it's very personal for Captain McKenna. But yeah, here's the thing. Over 50 kilograms of cocaine? This seems a little strange still.
Well, just make sure that it doesn't actually get stolen by a bear, and we're good to go.
Anyway, this will be Andre Davis's partner here, Frankie Burns, played by Sienna Miller, who chose an interesting accent for this movie, I won't lie.
Yeah, Sienna Miller. She's American-British. She was born in New York City, but she was raised in London.
Oh, she played the Baroness in G.I. Joe Rise of the Cobra. Me and Deji, when we saw the movie, joked that she could have genuinely played Bayonetta with that kind of appearance that she had in that movie.
Oh, neat. I really need to get around to seeing the G.I. Joe movies at some
Me and
point.
Deji genuinely liked Rise of the Cobra, but Retaliation was not good. And Snake Eyes was an interesting attempt, but, still having different problems.
Yeah, the best I've heard about Snake Eyes is, hey, there was an attempt and an idea.
We'll have to see the upcoming crossover with Transformers, how that works out.
So yeah, needless to say, Michael is pretty stressed out by
Taylor Kitsch's character's killing spree.
Ray. Yeah, Ray's killing spree. Yeah, basically, Stephen James plays Michael Trujillo, and Taylor Kitsch plays Ray Jackson.
Yeah, I can tell this has almost no budget at all because the reconstruction of the crime scene is done without any major flavors that you could see in something like CSI. Like we did see the shootout before, and yes, true. But usually when a detective, is reconstructing the crime scene, usually gets snippets of a flashback or something like that. That symbolize what he's talking about.
Not to mention, I've seen Law and Order, SVU, NCIS, some CSI here and there. I think even when they reconstruct the crimes in those, that's done with more flair and panache than this.
Also, I'm changing the deal. Pray I don't change it anymore.
So is this guy they're pointing a gun at?
This was apparently their intel for the heist, essentially.
And they're kind of pissed off because he did not went as smooth as they wanted.
Lewis can't. Oh, I don't know how they pronounce this guy's name. He's played by Lewis Cancelme.
Cancelmi, I think that would be.
Cancelme, sorry. I pronounced it Cancel Me because I don't know how to do it.
No,
I don't think he's. Yeah, I don't. Oh, he was in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 as that bodyguard who got shanked by Electro.
Poor guy.
For him. He was
in The Irishman the same year in this movie.
There's some character called Sally Bugs. He's in Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah, so he's a regular for Scorsese.
And this year he's in the upcoming film The Bride!
Exclamation mark.
Oh yeah, that's the one that basically makes Frankenstein's monster and the bride Bonnie and Clyde, isn't it?
Yeah, the Maggie Gyllenhaal movie.
I really don't know what accent Sienna Miller is trying for this character.
Because that's the thing. I know she was raised in London, but she was born in New York City.
Oh, goody, everyone's favorite, the FBI butting heads with the police. Is that a thing that happens all the fucking time? Because I keep seeing that in police procedurals, and it makes me wonder, why these two offices cannot just fucking, live in harmony for saving their lives.
It's about a clash of egos and whatnot. Typically, the ones lower on the totem pole, the local police want to handle things their way, but when something becomes so high profile enough, the FBI get included. Now, I don't know if they butt heads this much in real life. It might be something that's played up for more of the drama, but I have heard of some cases in real life which suggest that they may have butted heads.
The police and the FBI butt heads so much in fiction. I'm surprised there isn't a movie called Police versus FBI.
Usually in the case when the FBI are the ones you want to root for, that's when we include assholes from the CIA.
Well, again, isn't the CIA more about international affairs?
They are usually, but I think there are some rare cases where they
Okay,
may get involved with something here or
I'm
there.
not, actually this it out, but the police, light behind can be a bit distracting, admittedly, for this scene. It's a good time to mention that the director of this movie does not have a lot of experience, mostly about doing television before this, and the only other movies that I recognize that he did was the one we did after, which is called Dead of Winter, a movie released last year. I can tell a lot of his shots do scream about the lack of a budget, where it's just a character standing in a room without the shot moving that much.
I wonder how
It's
much,
like
because they filmed this in New York City and Philadelphia, but I wonder how much of the budget they spent filming in New York, because New York's pretty expensive filming from what I hear.
I do wonder. Like I will say this, for the most part, it doesn't feel super cheap, but I do agree with you. Having watched this now a second time, it is a lot more notable that they were maybe stretching their budget a bit in some
Again,
places.
I can say that this feels like just a slightly higher budgeted, TV episode for any police procedure that I could have seen, like Chicago PAPD or whatever it's called.
So basically, Dre's plan is to shut down every single bridge coming in or out of New York City, all 21 of them essentially,
Oh, goody,
to
we're
keep the two
creating
from
no man's
escaping.
land, I guess.
Okay, so you're going to essentially shut down the biggest city, the biggest and most busiest city on the planet.
I mean,
Well, that's what
to be
makes this
fair,
such a
Dweebs,
big
to
event.
be fair, Dweebs, it did work for Godzilla, so,
Yeah, but
Yes.
Godzilla just. Well, yeah, but that's Godzilla. These guys are just looking for. I mean, yeah, they're cop killers, but they're not Godzilla or Zilla.
But yeah, they're shutting down basically
Any means of
the
escape,
major ones,
basically.
yeah. That being said, though, one advantage the bad guys do have, though, is that the police are on a time limit. They have until 5 o'clock, essentially.
Otherwise,
The FBI will take the case.
And they'll
very
have
nice.
to reopen the city as well, basically.
If I was going to be like, if they don't do it, they'll blow up the city.
This
Or
genuinely feels
something.
like the plot of a Batman Arkham game.
Oh my god, you're
Like
kind of right.
you have one
Okay.
entire night to solve the situation, and the bridge barricade the area circumstantial where you need to investigate.
Could you imagine if the robbers had the audacity to try and swim away from New York?
No, remember they had they showcased that they had both helicopters and boats guarding the perimeters
Yeah.
of the island.
Like NYPD tend to have mostly all their bases covered for land, water, or the sky.
It's an island surrounded by water dwellings. It would be a tad hard to excavate a decent enough tunnel.
Yeah, to my knowledge, there are no subways that go underwater leading out of New York City.
Well, I was gonna say that the guy in the Shawshank Redemption did a good job of a tunnel.
That was incredibly improvised, and he was kind of lucky that he was able to work his way into a sewer main.
It's also based on a Stephen King book, so for all we know, maybe the guy just had psychic powers. We don't know.
He has the powers of someone from Maine.
So she is issuing worries that, again, his violent police nature could end up compromising the mission.
It's pretty clear that she's put there to keep an eye on him more than anything. So, by the end of the movie, she'll understand that he's a good guy, obviously. You know how these character arcs go.
But yeah, to the film's credit, it does pay mind to the issues with police brutality, even before the Black Lives Matter stuff really took off, essentially. Hello, Tyrese Gibson wannabe.
That'd be interesting if Tyrese Gibson suddenly decided, I'm just going to play nameless bodyguards from now on.
Didn't he play a cop in the Morbius movie?
I think so. It's one of
To
those
which he was.
remember,
I
it's
thought
one of
that was
those.
ludicrous.
Well, it's one of those
No, no,
characters
no.
that had their subplots going nowhere as well because it was cut away.
No. That was Tyrese Gibson in Morbius,
Ah, okay.
actually. Yeah, I remember because Tyrese Gibson was actually fooled into thinking that Scorsese post praising Morbius was actually real. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, next time we're gonna actually, get instead Heisenberg to give us the math.
Did I mention that this movie is rated R?
I mean, to be fair,
Yeah, I wouldn't.
with the violence, you probably would have guessed already.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't have thought a film about this would be rated U in my case.
You know, oh Jesus Christ, the scene where they had to pull down the door may remind me that after I watched that one episode of Fairly Odd Parents, I forgot which specific one, but you know the one where the characters loved to use battering rams to open the doors. I can never look a scene where the police throws down a door with a ram the same. Ouch.
Basically, Toriano Bush is the intel guy that they
Yeah,
pulled
the
guns
one
on
that Luis
earlier.
Yeah,
mentioned was played by Luis Cancelmi.
yeah, yeah. Seven of our colleagues were murdered, so forgive us if we're not exactly feeling in a good mood right now.
That said, as cops, they definitely do still have the responsibility to not fly off the handle themselves as well.
Mm-hmm. Have a good night. You had to cut the other thing off yourself.
Yeah, but I still got this on my. What? Sorry, could you say that again? There was a helicopter there.
That'll do. Or maybe just produced a cartoon for children. That's usually a good way to money laundering, apparently.
I swear, Sonic has some of the weirdest history in media all around. Basically, might as well get a different car since, old car's trackable.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, Taylor, you didn't have to take the
remind
box
you-
office failing of X-Men Origins Wolverine that
I would like
badly.
to remind you, Jova, that this is the same actor who played a character who, at the beginning of a movie, in order to seduce a girlfriend, sneaks in, enters into a clothes shop in the middle of the night, only to get a fucking burrito for her.
And he somehow
Or-
gets accepted into the Navy, even
And
though his
gets
brother
the
forced him
girl.
to.
Oh, Lord. Well, don't you see? His brother forced him to be in the Navy because he wanted him to learn a sense of responsibility.
Yeah, that's okay. So basically, in this headcanon, Taylor Kitsch is a man who can't get who is so devastated by the failures of John Carter and Battleship within a few weeks of each other that he couldn't let go of the pain years later, and he's now a criminal, being chased by Chadwick Boseman, who managed to overcome his own box office dud in Gods of Egypt and became a respected detective.
So, yeah, Ray Jackson served in the military, so you can tell that he knows his stuff around artillery, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine all the people trying to get to sleep?
To be
It's 3 minutes past 3 in the morning. I'm trying to sleep
To be
here.
fair, Dweebs, this is New York. It's literally called the city that never
See, it
sleeps.
never sleeps.
Yeah, but that's a city, not me.
Hello there.
Just here to get the money washed.
It looks like to me. It looks like these two just got back from getting a takeaway.
Yeah, here's the Chinese dude.
That's
Yeah.
what they want you to think.
Yeah, basically, we used drugs as currency, and we got one of literally every takeaway in the area of what area of New York are they in?
God, they may be in Harlem right now.
Yeah, we got a bit of every takeaway in Harlem.
Hmm.
Don't ask me why they accept drugs as currency. In fact, isn't that illegal?
You don't say what we're doing here is illegal.
God, could you
You know,
imagine that? If things get so bad, people have to use drugs as currency.
Ooh, confident are we? Yeah, I should mention, having served in Afghanistan, Ray's a little paranoid.
Let me check who our man with the safe is supposed to be.
Where I've seen this actor somewhere, but I can't put my finger on it.
Telling me.
Yeah, that's the
Alexander
thing.
Siddig. Siddiq El Fadil. He was born in Omdurman, Sudan. Oh, good, he was in the 2006
Right.
Hannibal
Okay.
series.
Right. How many times have I told you? You can't keep pointing guns at everyone we meet.
But yeah, to Jackson's credit, though, this has been a wild night. Nothing has gone as planned. Like, yeah, they expected some heat. They weren't expecting to be made like New York's Most Wanted, though.
They killed 7 cops.
Well,
Also,
that's the
Goody,
thing. The cops weren't supposed to be there, though, which is the issue.
this guy played Hermes in the 2010 Clash of the Titans movie. Poor guy.
God.
Class of the Titans.
So,
That bad, huh? I haven't seen that movie yet, but I have
well, Joe,
not
but
heard kind
it's so
things.
memorable. The only thing that everyone remembers is Liam Neeson not being able to say the word Kraken correctly. That's it.
It's weird. With a title like Clash of the Titans, you'd expect it would be a big epic, although I guess it did something well enough since it got a sequel. Although I've heard even less kind things said about
I mean,
said
put it this way: you
sequel.
might as well just stick to the original from Ray Harryhausen.
Coolio.
What?
Oh, jeez. Left the mobile phone in.
Hmm.
Also, check your notification, Jesus. Idiot,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oops. So, shouldn't that mean you should be going to prison right now?
There you go. You know, between the nightclub environment and this dialogue and the brawlout, and getting flashbacks to the Quiet Man.
Oh god, like this isn't bad like The Quiet Man, but I do get what you mean about that.
Seriously, that guy's terrible. He just gave him one warning, barely gave him any time to react to the warning, and then shot him in cold blood.
Yeah, he's pretty much on there. You know, he has his nerves high, showcased by the fact that he tried to also assault Chadwick Boseman's character.
Okay, I've not noticed. This guy has a British accent.
Well, last I checked, he is a British actor.
What's he doing in New York?
He's clearly there to counterfeit identities.
He also helps basically wash and launder money, essentially. Like, obviously give people more cleaner money that won't get tracked as
So he's
easily.
Knock knock, it's Knuckles. Oh, Jesus.
What? Seriously, what the hell? Okay, guys, I know you're pissed. 7 of your colleagues have been brutally murdered, but do you, do you even know if you had a gun or not?
Yeah, time to get back the money and, scoop out.
Pretty much.
In fact, they did.
Yeah, they may be getting a talking to later.
Boo, boo, boo. Yeah, that's a good question.
Thank goodness they shot everything but the thumb drives.
Damn, Dr. Bashir, how did you fall from being a doctor and a bona fide war hero to this?
He got instead inspired by, I forgot the name, Dr. Flux from Enterprise.
But they were hundreds of years apart. Oh, no, I got it, Tio. Janeway became an admiral after Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
She fired him.
Yeah, fair enough. Also, the species
Why?
of Flux
I don't
can
know.
actually survive longer than humans. Don't remember how much.
Jesus, outnumbered those guys and you still let them get away.
Admittedly, they were behind a steel reinforced door.
Yeah.
So they had a little bit of help there.
Why shouldn't put any around the side or anything?
And they just run into them. Hilarious.
Although, ironically, he's
odds?
probably the one detective who isn't going to kill them.
Well, unless he's being shot at first.
Well, in that case, self-defense, but he does seem more capable of, actually managing to shoot to incapacitate rather than kill.
Unlike those cops earlier who just he barely let the guy look for his peephole and then just shot him in the eye.
Oh, of course, a butchery. Classic place.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jackson got a bit tagged.
Probably won't.
This hurts way more than that time that I was on that battleship.
Taylor.
I mean, to be fair, Taylor Kitsch's character did not really receive much in terms of damage in the movie.
Like, I think the most is he gets blasted into the water after interacting with the alien ship near, like, the second act of the film, but...
If my brother could see me now, he'd probably wish he was...
Do you think ever Taylor Kitsch regrets the fact that he didn't get to be Marvel's up-and-coming Gambit?
Probably. Again, he was possibly one of the best things of X-Men Origins Wolverine for me.
It's like I said, I don't think he's a bad actor. He just had insanely horrible luck with his major roles. Like, hey, you get to be Gambit in X-Men Origins Wolverine. Hey, you get to be the main character in John Carter. Like, man, oh man.
I forgot, Java, since it's been way too much since I saw the Disney John Carter movie. Did they keep the fact that the guy was actually a Confederate?
I think they did. Or,
Goody.
at least that he was
That,
Southern, yeah. Mind you, I think they go with the idea that he was one of the ones just fighting for, I
Yeah,
don't know, the
sure,
fight of this,
Jen.
but
so yeah, that's Taylor Kitsch out the movie.
Oh well, I guess they did not have any more money to pay him. In fact,
He
the $500,000 that he's carrying in the back, that's his salary. They're like, now you can go home.
yeah.
that'd be funny. Like, okay, we're done. He gets up and then takes the money and goes, okay, later.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, though. That'd be pretty dumb if they just put his real salary on him and he just
Bonk.
walks off the set. Hey, you gave me my salary. I'm off. Bye.
But yeah, to, again, Michael's credit, he just goes to knock her out, essentially.
Not that he worked that much, because, yeah, spoiler alert, the bonk on the head does not really work unless you want to give a character an actual genuine brain damage concussion, possibly a coma. Oh, I get it. This is supposed to be the moment similar to The Fugitive, where he's like, "Oh, I didn't kill those people," and the cop is like, I don't care."
I'm not. I'm just studying.
Well, to quote Yakuza 4, you need to go balls out now. Whatever the hell that means.
I really feel like at that point, somebody just wanted to write an off the walls bonker line because it's Yakuza, so they could. Remember, he was dishonorably discharged due to apparently insubordination. Possibly not from being a killer, but from being somebody who didn't want to pull the trigger. Okay, admittedly, to her credit, yeah, it's a bit of a stressful position having a gun to your head. But yeah, this whole night has been rather peculiar.
Cops just showing up where they didn't expect it, even.
Yeah. Remember, this was all supposed to go relatively smoothly until cops showed up.
So there's
And
clearly someone that's playing both sides.
Yeah, remember what the cleaner mentioned also. The specifically the 8-5 precinct.
Hmm. This hostage situation is going on for quite a while now.
Well, I guess it helps that Michael is more reasonable than Ray was, because if it were Ray, Frankie would probably already be dead
Yeah.
now.
Okay, we're two for Zine. I can definitely say that one of the problems that I'm finding in this movie is the pace. The actual scenes are technically fine for what they want to present, but between those, the stuff that happens in between, it's a lot decompressed. The characters are just standing in one room and having back-to-back shots usually.
Yeah, I mean,
So he's just left
I'll
them in the he just left them in the fridge.
Yeah, although it won't be cold enough to kill him.
basically it should be enough to keep them in place while he makes his escape. Basically,
Oh, and they got out.
To be
well,
fair,
again,
it used only a
he
screwdriver to pin them down. Just, with a couple of shoulders, it probably got out.
pretty much, yeah. Again, he just wanted to keep them in there long enough to escape, not to keep them there forever. And it wasn't like he had too much on him at the time to really seal the door.
I guess the movie is also genuinely trying to portray him as the guy who did not wanted really to do the crime, and he's super regretful even though his hands are stained still. Usually when they can't do
Yeah.
the movie or CBCs tries to do that character arc, they genuinely just have that character not being the one fully responsible for the crime and just being at the wrong place at the wrong time and being entangled in this, to prove their innocence. But in this case, I'm sad to say, no, Ray is still guilty, unfortunately.
Oh
Sorry,
yeah, yeah,
Ray was
yeah.
Taylor
Like
Kid's character, my bad. I forgot.
Michael.
Michael, thank you. Michael, unfortunately, still also dirtied his hands.
To the movie's credit, I think, well, yeah, Michael pretty much acknowledges that even if there's a secret truth behind this, he's still screwed. Like, the best he can hope for is a severe prison sentence, essentially. Like. That being said, given how on high alert the cops have been, especially how trigger happy they've been, I can see why he doesn't exactly feel the safest going with them.
hmm Especially because, again, there seems to be the general idea that something is wrong, basically going on behind the scenes.
Because notice, the cops have been way too trigger happy, as you guys also noticed when they killed Toriano Bush.
Ow.
Huh. Okay. It's like in the recent Hitman games. Okay, just throw something at his head and he'll magically forget what you look like.
I guess. I also think at this point is a good time for me to mention that I argue the title is not particularly, fully justified. Yes, the 21 Bridge is being, pulled up in order to trap these people on Manhattan. makes sense, but it's only a part of what's going on. I think possibly a better way to call this movie would be No Way Out or Lock Out, something like that.
Cop killers.
No, that's still quite generic. But it still would be a better way to what happened. Okay, the French title got it. It's called Manhattan Lockdown in that version, that in France. So I think that one actually fits better because I was looking up. A couple of other countries just translates directly the title in 21 bridges and everything, but for some reason that I don't understand, okay, my country decided to call the movie City of Crime, and not like the Italian
What?
words for City of Crime, the English term City of Crime, which not only is super generic but just doesn't make any sense.
So they decided to go super fancy by actually putting the movie in English and calling it City of Crime, though. Okay. And yeah, City of Crime with these two criminals. Like, I don't know, I feel like City of Crime is something more befitting of, Sin City or whatnot, which actually shows all the crime going on here. Like, don't get me wrong, it's like treated as a big crime, but it still is majorly one big crime we're focused on. Ah, they used a fictional mayor, Mayor Drum. That said, yeah, it's 4:37, so they have less than an hour before the city has to get opened. But yes, from what the police are officially saying, they've neutralized two of the three men responsible already. But what's this? Now they're reporting that they died resisting arrest, which, okay, that's fair enough for Ray Jackson's case, but as we saw with Toriano Bush, that was clearly not the case. 8-5. And what do we have here? A bunch of bank account numbers. Tied to badge numbers.
Wait, are they the cops that got shot up?
Some. Again, yeah, no, like, remember. The cleaner referred to them as the 8-5. That is the precinct that J.K. Simmons is in charge of, essentially. Now, whereas J.K. Simmons has been admonishing the cops who have been getting violent, there have still been officers under his eye who, yes, have been getting way too violent. And it looks like there might be a reason for that more than just they're feeling emotional about their partners getting killed. Because, think about it. Why would that guy happen to have all their badge numbers and financial information? Anyway, one suit upgrade and a shave and haircut later, and Michael is on the way.
Aren't you one of those guys that the cops are looking for?
Oh, what? You're thinking that because I'm black?
No, I saw your picture on the news.
Now, that guy clearly had a beard and I don't.
There is some fingers of razor. Okay, you know what? Whatever. I'm not getting paid enough. Oh, so yeah, that disguise didn't work.
It worked to get him out of the building, but yeah, not too much far else. Ow.
Ow.
They just tried to run him over.
I'm one of you guys, you arseholes. So is this movie going to end with him being electrocuted?
And then what, he becomes Electro? Boy, we've got all the New York City chases. The chase through the kitchen, the chase through the alleyway.
The chase for the abandoned building.
Mm-hmm. All we're missing now is a subway chase. Hey, I'm driving here!
You idiot! You got in the way. These guys have amazing stamina. How long have they been running?
I mean, dude's ex-military, and he's got a ton of adrenaline going for him.
My
Oh,
fruit stall.
at least it wasn't his cabbages. Yeah, typical
Do you
New
have
York.
to? Do you have to run into them?
Yeah, typical New York subway encounter.
Okay, I'll sit down and hide my face in the newspaper. Ow. You know, I thought playing hide and seek would work, but evidently not. Okay, so what are we doing now? Recreating that scene from Speed? You're going to have much train left at this point. Like you killed a whole bunch of cops. You getting out of this alive is like the best outcome.
Like, how many more of these scenes do we need to have together, Michael?
He hasn't dropped the gun yet. Psych, I got another gun. Oh.
Actually, it's someone else who shot him. Oh, please, tell me that it's J.K. Simmons, the Turncoat or something. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, if there's anything that this movie is telling me, there's no one in the NYPD is doing their job nicely, which, yeah, I guess in hindsight, it's a good social commentary, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. I mean, okay, 7 cops are dead. A whole bunch of them are going to be fired after this, well, hopefully.
Oh, but he has one thing to give him still.
Yeah, I guess the thumb drives.
'Cause, yeah, you may have noticed we still have a good chunk of movie left after this.
Yeah, you would
Man,
think.
you said suspect is down. Are you sure the guy was armed? He wasn't when I shot him. What? Nothing.
And this confrontation on the subway feels like it should have been the climax. Yeah, if anything, this really, as the title of 21 Bridget, feels even less justified. It really is just a thing that happens for this movie.
Like, okay, if I were to try and play devil's advocate, maybe the title is made that way to also house, keep secret what's going to happen by the end and whatnot.
I think the French got it the right idea. Again, Manhattan Lockdown sounds better descriptive, convincing idea. Of course, the title that my country gave is still the stupidest. So
What?
It seems she might have some regrets for what she's done.
It looks like she's going to kiss that pole.
The ironic thing is, she started off the movie lecturing him about his violent nature. Almost like she expected him to do shooting before talking.
And yet she killed a guy who at that point was unarmed.
Interesting, isn't it?
How the tables have turned.
But he's got his suspicions.
Oh?
And also, she has a daughter, probably.
LMSI?
Llama.
Michigan.
Llama Miraculous Syntactic Inuits, yes.
Kelly? Hold on. Kelly's one of the people that she called.
Should have erased your call history.
Is that the reason why she has that weird accent? Because she's actually an infiltrator or something?
There's something rotten in the city, and it's not just the crime.
Yeah, and this feels like it should be the ending shot of a movie. Like the twist is that she was the one
With the American
informing
flag
them.
in the background. I'm sure that's symbolism for something.
There's also
No,
this
no,
thing
no,
that
no. To be
not.
fair, we do have the American flag in a lot of places.
Yeah, here's the thing, Lives. If you haven't noticed, the patriotism around in the USA is almost pathological. They need to have the flag everywhere just to, make sure that they respect their country.
Admittedly, it wasn't this bad before 9/11, but yeah, after 9/11, that's when the full flag thing really went into overdrive. So much so that even in media, we kind of flash the flag around to show that it's gonna be okay, we're gonna make it.
There's also this thing that not just this movie, but I've seen in a lot of TV series and everything about generational policemen. That just because their father, their parent, was a cop, they have to be like mostly because maybe their parents were expecting them to be part of the force or in order to honor their presence or something. Like, is that very regular as a thing, IRL?
I
Just to
don't
know.
know if that's a thing. I know it's a thing with some cases. I don't know if it's a regular thing or if that's just a thing more in media.
I know that it was a case where in the far past when Irish people were hired, foreign families to
Hello.
be part of the police force, but I don't know if it's a thing still now. Oh yes, please tell me that J.K. Simmons was the turncoat.
Let's have a little talk, shall we?
Why don't we have a seat over there?
So, the Russos ask you to be in Endgame too?
Oh, how curious.
So basically, it wasn't just one cop that was the turncoat, it was the whole
Entire
8-5
precinct.
basically. That's why a lot of the cops were acting way more violent than they should have. They weren't simply off the handle, they were basically trying to bury everything.
And that's also why they were tipped off. They knew everything about the operation.
Now, the thing is, there were some clean cops who were along for the ride. They didn't know that they were along for the ride to, move some dirty stuff, essentially. But they still got caught in the crossfire and thus died. Which means that, yes, their deaths are indeed on the hands of the corrupt cops.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing that I keep hearing about the American housing problems. The fact that landlords are possibly some of the worst people on the earth, specifically in America, because they tend to take advantage of the people that they rent their apartments on.
I don't know how much of that is truth in television or how much of it may be exaggerated, but yeah,
I
I
was
have had
still
a.
too young. I was still too young to understand the housing market crash of the late 2000s when it happened, so I don't really know the full details or the political figures involved. But it must have been a sight.
There is certainly something of a housing issue, though, but yeah. Basically, this whole operation started because, well, the police weren't really making that much money. It's kind of similar to The Rock, essentially. Men from the military discharged with honors, but not taken care of financially. And yes, it turns out Frankie, the woman who partnered up with him, was meant to keep an eye on him, and she was actually trying to egg him to use his more violent natures, essentially, since he had a history of shooting and all that, essentially. Yeah. Closed casket funerals usually mean there is not much that can be done to make the body look presentable.
What about China Cat?
Surprisingly, the one thing he wasn't on.
Oh, how ironic to see this 1 year before 2020. I can
Like,
also, again, I was going to mention in my final thoughts, I'm also, um, way more lenient towards Chadwick Boseman's performance and more dry appearance because by this point, he was really racked up by the cancer that was eating inside. So the poor guy was just trying to, doing it for the art and to get money to his family.
yeah, it does feel a bit more noticeable here. I will give him credit that it at least works as a guy who is mentally exhausted with the whole thing. It is really a shame we
It's
had
like
no
with what
idea.
happened. Yeah, it's like with what happened with
Bruce Willis.
I was going to say about Tony Todd in Final Destination Bloodlines.
True. Oh,
It's an ambush. Even the asshole cops him earlier, too.
wow, headshot.
But
I
where's
would
the
say,
other
does he
one?
feel unclean killing his own employees? But they're dirty, so
Not to
Pretty much.
mention, they attacked first, so,
yeah.
self-defense.
Basically, at this point, they all have everything to lose, so they're all gonna try and take him out, essentially. Because here's
This
the
is like this is not the series finale of Blue Blood I was expecting to happen.
Yeah, here's the thing about a cop who's dirty. They will be extra scared because you want to know what a cop really fears? Going to jail. Why? Because there's a lot of people that cop has probably put in jail, essentially. And needless to say, they are not often kind to dirty cops, essentially.
Oh wow! Notice my directing. It's just like face off.
King T'Challa versus J. Jonah Jameson. Who will win?
Yeah, that's
This
not
is a
much of a
this is a weird
competition.
episode of Death Battle.
For all you people who had this specific fanfiction in mind, I guess it's your lucky day.
So this is what would have happened if
Well,
Commissioner Gordon went dirty.
why is Jake Jonah Jameson a cop now?
He's tapping
Okay,
into
you'll
his
be
inner
surprised.
Commissioner Gordon.
You have to remember, doing something that the movies haven't shown yet, but at one point, JJJ tried to build his own mech suit to go against Spider-Man.
And true, there was even a point in the comics where J. Jonah Jameson did in fact become mayor of New York City. Which,
Yeah.
to be fair,
I mean, to be fair, Jova, everyone has become Mayor King City of New York City at some point.
true,
In the
yeah.
Marvel universe.
Kingpin. I think even Matt Murdock had like that time when he was mayor at some point.
I forgot if Norman Osborn became before or after he became the director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Crazy times.
Yeah, has that ever worked? Shooting randomly through a wall?
It's a
Sometimes,
spray
if
and
you
pray
can sense where
tactic.
they are, yeah. But yeah, it is a desperate measure.
"21 Bridges, the video game."
At more like 21,000 bullets.
Come on, how's this gonna look at your funeral? J. Jonah.
Paul.
He warned you.
Yeah. Question, Joe. I don't think do dirty cops even get proper if they get killed. Everyone knows they're dirty? Do they even get state funerals?
I don't think they do when it turns out
Probably
that they're
just
dirty.
regular funerals. Final boss has to be here.
I have a daughter. That means my actions are justified. No, it doesn't.
It's the American way, or at least the American filmmaking. How to make a character sympathetic? Just say that they have a family.
No. To their credit, they admit that she is still dirty, essentially. Like, sure, she did it for her daughter, maybe, but that does not justify it.
It's kind of like that movie with Shia LaBeouf as the main character. I forgot what it's called. Spy Eagle or something. Eagle Eye, I think.
Yeah, here's the thing. You kill him, you're going away for life. If you don't kill him, you'll get time, but eventually you'll get out to see your daughter.
You don't.
Yeah, I mean,
You
seriously,
dishonor the
you're doing all this wearing the badge.
So I found hilarious that no one from the neighborhood heard the shooting. Oh, okay, someone did. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh my god, why is her hoodie bloodied up?
I think that may have been from the action earlier that night.
Okay.
And now the bridges are back open. See, guys.
We're justifying so fucking hard the
See,
title.
the 21. Well, okay, the what? That's the thing, though. It's only showing this one bridge.
Is this the bridge that women keep falling off of for Spider-Man to
Well,
fall?
How many bridges have we seen in this movie?
Dweebs, to quote, Star Trek TNG, ship has one bridge. One bridge.
Boy, it's been quite a day, hasn't it, Andre?
Sorry, movie. I'm not gonna visit New York City anytime soon.
Okay, I'll count. 1, 2.
It's not 21, Dweebs, I can tell you that.
Come to New York City.
How many bridges have they? That's to say, how many bridges have they shown across the whole of this movie? Probably. If you ever even look the same, I don't think they even showed all 21.
Oh my god, that's how we end?
Come to New York City. We're a city that cracks down on crime and corruption. And
we swear we have 21 bridges. We cannot show you all of them, but we swear we have them.
Yeah, showing all the bridges is expensive.
Thanks, Russo brothers.
Yeah, no wonder this movie has like a 55% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, I can see why at this point.
This is a really dry movie. All the actors involved are all trying their hardest.
And Henry Jackman's also trying with the soundtrack.
It's just they're given a load of really one-note characters. Like Chadwick Boseman plays the cop who was once mad but then learned to not be mad. We have the dirty cops whose whole personality is, I'm doing it for my insert relative here. And the criminals, one is a psycho, the other one is a bit less of a psycho. And that's really about it. It's shot more blandly than an episode of bloody Law and Order.
Yeah, no, like, I
Um,
really chalk this up to being more of a Chadwick Boseman and Russo brothers project, since, again, I can't really find much on Brian Kirk that would suggest that, aside from
Yeah,
being the director, he was head honcho of this project.
again, they put their names on it because they're the most famous guys involved in this project.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think the title is a complete lie. They mention the bridges, but we don't even see a whole chunk of them.
Remember, it's
So
about
Dweebs,
shutting down the 21 bridges.
would you say, Dweebs, that the title in my country is fitting more City of Crime?
Yeah, but honestly, that sounds even less specific. City of Crime, yeah, which one?
The Holby City of Crime.
Now, to his credit, Sienna Miller did reveal that Chadwick Boseman donated a good chunk of his salary to her in order to have her fairly compensated when STX did not meet her requested pay. Yeah, apparently they were stretching a bit thin in that thing. So
that's the thing. STX aren't exactly a very well-funded studio. I mean, why did they even hire her in the first place if they couldn't even afford a salary where the main actor has to give her a good chunk of his own salary?
Was Sienna Miller particularly big around the time?
I don't know.
I don't know.
For reference,
okay. As for STX, bit of a thing. They got founded in 2014. 6 years later, they merged with another studio to become a division. But then a year later, a guy named John Najdafi acquired STX from the merged company after completing the sale a year later. And then the STX company itself was fully revived last month, owned by an insurance company.
Okay.
Yeah, and one of the first things that they did was a sequel to a disaster movie with Gerard Butler called Greenland. Topical.
Yeah, aside from that well-timed bit of information, that's really about it. It's an extremely dry, mostly uninteresting movie whose moments are only carried by some of the extremeness of the dirty cops.
What did you think of Henry Jackman and Alex Belcher's score for this?
There was a score?
Yes, again, done by Henry Jackman, of all people.
Guess it was a case where the composer was on autopilot.
Put it this way, Joe, but his Detective Pikachu score was better than the same year.
Also, can I just say, I find it funny how Keith David gets billing over Taylor Kitsch and...
He's just there at the beginning of a movie.
Yeah, like...
He's just there to say stuff.
It's like, don't
maybe
get me...
yell at one point.
It's like, don't get me wrong.
Was he busy the same year? Let me check. Go on.
It's Keith David. He definitely is in a lot of stuff, but yeah. I do get that Keith David is incredibly hot stuff, but... Shoot, you could have at least had him show up more. Like, part of me does wonder if there was, like, a deleted end or something, because, yeah, the ending is kind of pretty abrupt, essentially. Like, I wonder if they wanted to film more, but just ran out of time or money or something.
I mean, for all I know, the ending could have been, and then the cops sabotaged his car so that it went off the road and he died.
No. Like, as far as we know, he's got the drives and every dirty cop is going to go down, essentially. Oh,
get promoted.
Funnily enough, in regards to how people were cast, essentially, guess who else was considered, apparently? We had Louis Tan, William Lee, Andrew Koji, and... Mario Star-Lord himself,
Garfield.
Chris Pratt.
Oh yeah, sure.
To play the main character.
I guess
it
the
doesn't
more
say
supportive role. Chadwick Boseman was the first major cast member revealed because it was a passion project for him. If I had to guess, Dweebs, maybe Chris Pratt's role would have been similar or the same as the one that Taylor Kitsch got.
Now, to be fair, it's not unheard of Chris Pratt doing more serious stuff like,
Passengers.
or more recently, that crime drama
Well,
film
attempted
about
serious stuff. Mercy, that's the name. It was
Mercy.
from the
Yeah.
director of the Ben-Hur remake.
Alright, so is that all, Waves?
Yeah.
Alright. Uh, this movie's a bit dull for me. Like, I see that the heart might be in the right place, and at the end it tries to have, spawn a positive message, and even a more optimistic ending, because I could swear that what the entry one ending considered was that Andre would have taken down the entire 8-5 precinct, but he would have been gunned down in the process, completing the heroic sacrifice for everything. But no, at least the ending that we got is more optimistic. Well, interesting enough, I was checking here. In initial development, this movie was supposed to be called 17 Bridges. So what happened to the other four? Like, where did they pop up? Like, did New York build 4 extra bridges and I didn't know in such a short amount of time?
Don't know.
Anyway, again, it's a serviceable type of plot, but like I said, I've seen this kind of plot almost everywhere in police procedural stories. That's the unfortunate part that, these particular crime dramas, because they don't have a lot to work with, they need to be very contained, use specific rules and everything. They need to do something potentially to elevate the mold, something unique to them, like CSI having the whole, scientific reconstruction and using technobabble to justify the equipment of the scientific department. Chicago PD being set in a different city altogether. Same goes for other series like CSI Miami, for example. Here, the novelty would be that they are closing down on just the Manhattan Island by literally closing down the Detroit 21 bridges. So that feels just more of a garnish than anything. The fulcrum of the action clearly is the mystery about how the police seems to know beforehand how things are gonna go, and the revelation about the 8-5 corruption. So no, this is stuff that I already would have seen in one episode, like I said, of Law and Order, for example. That is not to say that the story itself is bad. It's just that I've seen this somewhere else. I wouldn't have felt justified to go see this in theater. And a lot of people seem to agree because people went to see instead Knives Out, which is a spawn on the murder mystery type of genre, admittedly.
I do
Um,
feel like 21 Bridges definitely gets a lot more attention now since it was Chadwick's last role before his death, essentially. And I'm going to be honest, I do feel like that's probably the main draw for this. Do you want to see Chadwick Boseman playing a New York Police Department detective? Well, that's what 21 Bridges is for.
I might say something contentious with this, especially because not to be a disservice to Chadwick Boseman himself, but I think honestly I forgot what was the name of that Netflix movie with Will Smith, Bright,
Oh god,
I think it
Bright.
was.
Yes.
I probably would rather watch that again over this, if I had to be honest, because at the very least, for how bad the execution of that is, the premise, in order to try to do something different, was something that would have captivated me more than this. Unfortunately, I don't mean to tell that this movie should have been about a fantasy or anything, but this feels something that should have been direct to streaming service rather than a theatrical release. That's basically what I'm saying.
I admittedly have not seen Bright, so I guess I'll have to eventually see about that in the commentary. I do get what you mean though. Like when I first saw this movie, it was on Netflix, and I guess part of me did wonder if this was just a Netflix original.
Again, it's unfortunate considering everything that happened to Chadwick Boseman and the fact that only 1 year after this movie, reality proved once again about, the horror of, victims of police brutality that, this movie, had mentioned. But to be fair, so did Scary Movie 3 with a passing joke, and back then nobody got to listen to that. So, to quote Deji, time really is a flat circle. unfortunately. But again, that's basically the end, the summarization with it's serviceable, but stuff that I already have seen, and I would have changed the channel if I found this on TV. So
Like I pretty much said before during Teos' final thoughts, in hindsight, I do feel like the main draw of this is getting to see Chadwick Boseman showing his acting range and whatnot, because this is more or less an extended episode of a cop drama and whatnot. Mind you, I think it's competently shot, it's competently enough written. I do feel like the major problem is with the pace and the abrupt end, in the sense where, okay, it feels like we're building up to something, and then we get the climax and it's really just over like that, essentially. Like, again, I think the cast is good and whatnot. I do feel like sometimes the pacing goes a little too wild for the film's own good, but nothing train wreck worthy. However, admittedly, as a result, yes, it's not a train wreck, but it's unfortunately nothing to write home about. I mean, again, and I do think that, ironically, Chadwick Boseman's death is possibly, sadly, the most attention that was brought to this movie, which that is pretty sad. Like, not even in a sense that the movie needed it, but like, ouch. Like, on one hand, I do think it's a bit of a shame that this movie bombed, but on the other hand, in hindsight, I'm not too surprised, because I'll admit, even I don't really recall hearing about this movie marketing-wise when it was supposedly in the vogue or whatnot, so
it's worth noting that while, as I said, the movie has currently 55% on Rotten Tomatoes, the audience is far more generous and gave it like a 91. So it seems that a lot of people who are not official critics seems to enjoy more this movie. So again, maybe there is genuinely something that I don't really see, or there are a lot of people who genuinely like these even relatively basic type of police crime drama,
I will say
which
this.
is fine.
Yeah. Like, I will say this. As a police crime drama, I don't think this is doing anything wrong in that particular. And, I get the feeling if you're into this sort of stuff, yeah, this is right up your alley, essentially. You have a likable enough protagonist who, learns to grow and develop, essentially. You got the dirty cops. You have a mystery on you that at first seems simple but gets a bit more complicated as things go by, so... And, you do have stakes and whatnot. A bit of stakes on the good guys' end until you start to question, wait, who's really the good guys and bad guys here and all that. So yeah, no, like, I'll say this. I wouldn't have to be forced to watch this again. It's something I feel I can enjoy enough. I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it, but I wouldn't feel like I'd have to be forced to either. I feel like, for Chadwick Boseman, it was another feather in his cap. It showed off his acting range, and I'd like to believe that for the most part it was a good enough production, even if he had to donate part of his salary to Selena Miller. That's a bit eyebrow-raising, essentially, which, yeah, does lead me to think that Tio might be onto something with how this was kind of a borderline indie project. Like, technically not indie, but I'll admit, a lot of these companies involved with these movies are, like, much smaller scale, it seems.
Question, Joe, have you seen the 2017 movie Sleepless with Jamie Foxx?
No, I have not.
So, I was wondering if you could compare it with this, but no, that's not the case. Maybe another time.
Alas, that said, the point of this was to pay homage to Chadwick Boseman with one of his performances, and that is a mission accomplished. So tune in for whatever we do next for Black History Month.
See ya.
See you then.